From the secret past of Antarctica to a breakthrough in the hunt for Queen Nefertiti's tomb, today we look at 9 crazy discoveries that might change history. Number 9. Chinese petroglyphs. While epigraph hobbyist John Ruskamp was hiking through New Mexico's Petroglyph National Monument, he noticed some markings etched into the side of the rock that seemed out of place next to those he knew to be from Native Americans. After studying the markings more, he found that they were most representative of those seen on Chinese oracle bones, dating back more than 1,200 years. There have long been researchers that have put forth the idea that the ancient Chinese may have been the first Eastern Hemisphere explorers to reach the Americas. And Ruskamp believes these carvings prove that theory. After his initial discovery in New Mexico, uncovering the possible presence of the ancient Chinese in North America became an obsession for him. Searching various national parks throughout the Southwest, he believes that he has found numerous other sites that bear Chinese characters in the states of Nevada, California, Utah, Arizona, and as far as Oklahoma. Although many anthropologists and archaeologists are still skeptical due to the lack of other physical evidence, there are some who believe it's not a matter of where the Chinese visited America, but when they did, and how did their exploration affect ancient American culture. Number 8. Antarctic Paradise. The continent of Antarctica, a frozen wasteland devoid of life aside from some of nature's most evolutionary, ambitious animals. But was it always this way? New discoveries suggest that at one point, maybe even as recent as when the ancient Egyptians roamed the earth, Antarctica was a hot and humid tropical paradise. Some of the world's most renowned geologists who dare to brave the Antarctic weather keep uncovering more and more evidence. The most groundbreaking find being that of petrified tree stumps and leaf fossils that belong to a species of deciduous trees. Researchers believe that these fossils mark the remains of 3 large forests that once flourished on this continent. Subsequent studying of ice cores from the region back this up and even clarify a possible timeline. The core shows samples of trees and other biomatter that could have lived as recently as 6,000 years ago. There have also been several researchers that have reported finding fossils of small animals and the teeth of an ichthyosaur. These discoveries tie in some modern theories that believe there was a point in the Earth's history that an ancient episode of extreme global warming during which both the North and South poles were similar in temperature to the equator. Number 7. Bosnian pyramids. Where are the oldest and largest pyramids on Earth? Your first guess would probably be Egypt or Mexico, but one archaeologist claims they are actually in Europe, just 10 miles north of Sarajevo, the capital city of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Archaeologist Sam Osmanagic discovered what he claims are 3 giant pyramids that he estimates are over 12,000 years old. Though the pyramids at first glance only look like large grassy hills, when you consider how much erosion would have occurred over thousands of years, and combine that with the hill's uncanny and unnatural resemblance to the step pyramids of Mexico, it's easy to imagine the area being home to an advanced ancient civilization. 2 of these pyramids that he has named the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon would be over 200 feet taller than the Great Pyramid of Giza. If his claims are true, many scientists are hesitant to confirm his theories, as during the time period in which Osmanagic says they were, it is believed that humans hadn't even developed simple agricultural systems, and that most of Europe would have been covered in ice. But for as many detractors as there are just as many supporters of the theory. Osmanagic has even secured government funding for more research, and has become somewhat of a hero to his countrymen. Number 6. Rooms in Tut's tomb. When the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun, better known as King Tut, was discovered in 1922, it was hailed as one of the biggest archaeological discoveries of all time. But all of the secrets surrounding Tut's tomb have yet to be revealed. Recently, archaeologists using radar scanning technology tested the walls where the pharaoh's sarcophagus was found in search of hidden passageways. They didn't expect to find much, but what they ended up discovering could lead to an even more sought-after find. Behind the walls of Tut's burial chamber, the radar showed what could possibly be 2 secret rooms. Further tests revealed that the first room likely is filled with organic materials and metal objects, while the other room is also home to unknown organic material. It may be a long time before anyone gets permission to take a sledgehammer to the walls and see what's inside. But archaeologists have theorized that one of the rooms may lead to the long-lost tomb of Queen Nefertiti. They believe this because it has been speculated that Nefertiti might be the mother of King Tut. This theory is backed up by several factors, such as King Tut passing away at a young age could have led his followers to bury him inside another tomb, and the fact that the rest of the tomb doesn't seem to cater to a male pharaoh. Number 5. Wandering Head. In 1933, just outside of Mexico City, Mexico, a ceramic bust was found buried 3 floors deep. It wasn't until recently that the true origin of the bust was revealed, and with its secrets startling, new theories about ancient exploration started to form. After the combined efforts of universities from Canada, Germany, Mexico, and the United States, the bust was able to be dated and its possible origin established. The bust was found to be an estimated 1,800 years old, and it was determined that because of the materials used to create it, in the figure it represents that it was made in ancient Rome. The head is believed to be a representation of either a Roman emperor, soldier, or god, because of its facial structure and distinct Roman beard. The astounding archaeological find has many historians questioning whether the Romans may have been the first Europeans to explore the Americas. Others have put forth the possibility that the bust may have been transported to Mexico by the Spanish or pirates, who could have recovered it from a shipwreck closer to the Old World. But then the question becomes, why bury it? The theory that ancient Romans may have explored the Americas have been further reinforced by the possible discovery of a Roman sword in Nova Scotia, Canada, and a shipwreck near Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, that also appears Roman in origin. Number 4. Lovelock Cave. In the early 20th century, a startling discovery that still cannot fully be explained was made in a cave just outside the town of Lovelock in Nevada. While mining the cave for its large deposits of bat guano, engineers started finding what looked like man-made artifacts. Soon, researchers from several universities descended upon the site and began excavating it. Initial reports have these archaeologists discovering the mummified remains of a group of humans that were over 8 feet tall and had reddish-colored hair. Not only that, but they found a sandal that was around 18 inches long, the painting of a giant handprint, and other objects too big to be used by a normal-sized person. The problem is, shortly after the initial excavations, these giant mummies went missing and haven't been located since. Searches that followed did reveal the remains of around 60 normal-sized people that are estimated to be over 3,000 years old. But there haven't been any more discoveries that point to the existence of giants. What makes the whole tale more compelling is that the Paiute Indians, who have called the area home for thousands of years, have legends that speak of a tribe called the Sitka, who were lightly skinned giants with red hair. According to the tales, The Paiutes were constantly warring with these enormous foes until they defeated them in a battle that supposedly took place near Lovelock Cave. Number 3. Atlantean Treasure. When the philosopher Plato wrote about the lost city of Atlantis, he mentions its people being in possession of large amounts of the metal orichalcum. He goes on to paint a picture of the Atlanteans ordaining entire statues with orichalcum, yet does not specify its properties or why in his time it was worth almost as much as gold. Today, orichalcum is particularly rare but not really worth much when it comes to modern application. So it was shocking when a 2015 diving expedition found a shipwreck that had a trove of almost 40 solid orichalcum ingots. The ship's believed to be over 2,500 years old. Though this time frame doesn't match Plato's Atlantis, it has reignited some historians' hopes of finally figuring out what is truth and what is myth. Number 2. The Irish Ape. As an ancient site that was long used in royal ceremonies, Nevan Fort in Ireland is no stranger to myths and mystery. Historians had thought they had been close to knowing all there was to know about the area until an excavation in the 1980s uncovered another question. Archaeologists there found the skull of a Barbary ape, an animal that only naturally inhabits northern Africa. The skull was found among a collection of jewelry, clothing, and ceramic artwork that were found to be well over 2,000 years old. So how did this monkey get to the Emerald Isle? Most likely it was the pet of a Roman dignitary or local royalty, who had bought it from traveling merchants or brought it with them on their tour of duty. However, there are some who believe these bones could be even older than that and possibly tie into the reality behind myths of the ancient Egyptians sailing to Ireland. Number 1. Lead Library. In 2006, 70 artifacts that looked like metal toddler books bound by iron ringlets were discovered in a cave in the deserts of Jordan. These small books, with pages made of lead, can easily fit in the palm of one's hand and may be the key to understanding mysteries of the Christian Bible. The books have been tested to be just under 2,000 years old and place them at a time period just after the life of Jesus. Researchers have found that the images inside the books seem to tell the tale of Christ's life on earth, and if they can be decoded, may change the entire interpretation of the New Testament or possibly provide proof. What's more, many of the books are locked shut, which suggests that maybe the books were hidden on purpose. Some Christian historians believe they could be the mythical collection of manuscripts that John wrote about in the apocalyptic book of Revelation.